Telling the truth all the time. Now people say you can't tell the truth all the time. Of course you can. Like if someone said to me, do you like my shirt, and say I didn't like their shirt, I wouldn't say I don't like your shirt, but I'd say I probably wouldn't wear it, but if you're happy wearing it, fantastic. That's the truth. Without me being critical or punitive, I can still speak the truth. So honesty, oneness means we're all one, you know. We've all breathed the same air that's been breathed from previous generations. We're living in one world. I went to NASA in the United States years ago when I went around the States, and they had the IMAX theatres where you can see what the astronauts see from space. And that's when you start to realise, oh my God, this is an amazing planet we're all on. This is an amazing life we're all having. But we get caught up in our little dilemmas and we don't see the big picture. But when you look from that perspective, you can. So I talk a little bit about that in my teaching as well. Peace, of course, is the yin and the yang. It's about balance. Peace is the dark and the light element. We have our negative thoughts, we have our positive thoughts. But when you are after peace, you actually start to question your negative thinking. And you realise that when you're looking at someone and saying that person is a this or a that in a negative way, you're actually projecting your own thoughts onto them. So when we take ownership of ourselves, we actually say, well, I'm thinking that thought and I'm projecting it onto someone else. In the philosophy in which I live, none of the negativity is true. None of it. Not one bit of it. The only thing that's true is love, and people will say, that's not true, you know, that's clearly wrong, you know. But, you know, if we were to look into things more deeply, we'd probably find there are reasons behind what people do, you know, and we'd probably do the same thing if we were given the same set of circumstances and the same life experience. So it opens the space for compassion, and when we start to question for negativity. So the last one in that program, of course, is enjoyment, and our whole purpose here in life is to be happy. And when you feel peace, the joy you feel is unbelievable. I go often through society and I'm smiling and I really feel it. And I look at people holding hands in front of me and I feel really happy for them, but I do not feel envious in the slightest, because I'm in love already with me. And it's not a vanity, it's not vanity, it's simple, total self-acceptance. I make mistakes like everyone, you know. But the beauty of peace is we're kinder to ourselves, and when we're kinder to ourselves, we're kinder to other people, and that's how it spreads. So I just thought I'd explain that a little bit. This is just some photos of me with the kids. That's just me talking to the children again about peace and play and having some fun. I get the kids to do jokes, positive jokes, not punitive ones, so kids get to connect with humour a lot more, you know, like we can have fun together. We don't have to be smarter than each other, you know. And there's some kids here who just put on the wigs to play. That's their creativity. So I brainstorm what is peace, I get the kids to tell me. So a lot of the way I teach is actually not about putting information in, it's about getting kids to tap into their own wisdom and share that with me. So brainstorming is really great, critical thinking, getting people to think for themselves. I'm not here to make you think like I think. You think what you want to think. You're free. And this child's up here saying a few jokes as well. So I usually put, you know, a hat on them, and they love that. The kids adore it. I have a laughing dragon, which I get laughing, and it rolls around on the floor, and the kids all crack up at that. I always dust the children. You know, I like to make sure they're nice and tidy, you know, before I start. And what that does is it just builds connection and interaction with the kids, you know, it's great. So they all start laughing. This teacher here, he's a fair income clown. As soon as I saw him, I knew. And I often can tell in an audience, I can tell who's a clown usually. Look at his face. And the teachers were great at this school because they had all the kids with peace symbols on, and they themselves wore wigs, you know, so they were in the spirit of it. See, there's a teacher there, a clown teacher. Just imagine if we had teachers, you know, thinking in this way, like having fun at school. And haven't we all grown up, you know, when you were all kids? You say, school's boring, you know, it's no fun. Why can't it be fun? It can be fun, but you can learn lots of things when you're in a very positive state of mind. We don't have to be all cerebral, you know. There's a few pictures of the kids. Oops. Let's go back. This one is a session that I do which is based on Jane Elliott's work in the United States. She was a Texan educator, and what she did was based on the Mengele experiments in Germany, she divided the children by eye colour, so blue-eyed children, brown-eyed children. And what she was trying to show children was when we discriminate on the basis, in this case, of eye colour, it has implications. So what she did was she told the children in her experiments that only blue-eyed children were intelligent and that brown-eyed children were not smart, you know. And she just did this as a form of suggestion. Now what ended up happening was the kids started having conflict in the playground because you're blue-eyed and I'm not, you know. She did tests with them, and they found that the actual outcomes of those tests were lower for the kids who were brown-eyed, higher for the kids who were blue-eyed. So what I do, I actually divide the class by eye colour, and I say only blue-eyed kids can be clowns, you know. I do it more gently. Jane Elliott was quite harsh in her approach, but what she was demonstrating was if we discriminate, people do actually start to live out that feeling of being less than, essentially. Bullying is a great example of that. So I have the blue-eyed kids wearing wigs in a circle, and I have the brown-eyed or green-eyed kids held to the side by the teacher. So those children are observing, they're not allowed to speak, and then we all do Chinese whispers, and of course every kid loves Chinese whispers. You can see they're all sitting there going, oh, you know, as we start to do Chinese whispers. Now when we finish that, I then say to the children, okay, how did you feel being the blue-eyed clowns, you know? And these kids go, oh, it was great, you know, we were like the clown, and you know, we were accepted, included, they felt happy. And then I said to the other group, how did you feel? And they said, even though they knew it was a game, they felt upset because they felt excluded and they felt that they wanted to play and they weren't able to. So I said, well, how do we look at the playground in the same way? What about the kids who are from different ethnic groups? What about girls? You know, I don't want to play with a girl, you know, or a boy, or, you know, I know that's quite natural for kids to be like that. But nonetheless, to raise awareness to children how it feels to be excluded. If you're disabled, you know, or if you're not good looking, you know, and we all do it. Every one of us does it. I've seen myself do it, you know, judge people on the basis of how they look. We do it with Muslims in our culture because of the war on terror. And yet have we actually sat down and talked with someone, you know? And you'd be amazed at the revolution of actually talking to someone who you feel some tension with and actually getting to know them. And so what the children came up with was, yes, we invite those kids in from now on. You know, let's talk to them. You know, some of the shootings in the United States, I was just in the US 2 months ago trying to, you know, chat with peace educators over there. And, you know, many of these shootings are coming from people who are feeling isolated by their society, but instead we get into this media type of let's get them, you know, but we don't actually get under the surface and understand what's causing such anger that someone actually wants to hurt someone. The same applies for bullying. Let's get underneath what's creating this desire to have power over someone else, because that's all bullying is. It's a powerless person seeking power. It's not real power. Real power doesn't need to dominate anyone. If you're a powerful person, you'll be able to sit in peace and let others be who they are. That's true power. But in our world, we tend to think it's a power of strength is to dominate or be on top, or management. We see management hierarchies. I've done work in corporations as well, where we're looking at bullying at the higher levels. People you know, sort of going across those lines of my role, where I am your supervisor, as distinct from I'm actually getting a bit of a kick out of getting you to do what I want, you know, and repeating that and actually enjoying your suffering. That's actually what bullying is. It's an enjoyment of seeing someone suffer. So we don't want that in schools at all. So we need to understand it. So this is just another picture of the kids in that separated state, observing what it's like to be excluded. Whoops. I'm just going to just read out a couple of things from here. This is the children's comments. I did some critical thinking with them. So I said, when I say the word peace, what do you think or feel? Kids go, no wars, happy, chill out, dude. Peace symbol, friends, awesome, happy, free. Another one is relax, man, peace sign, make peace not war, hippies, dove, happy. So you can see there's a lot of associations with the word peace. It's not necessarily what they really, truly feel inside. We tend to identify things based on what we've learned. So what is war? And I'm interested in this because of the violent video games that are so prevalent these days. AK-47, how is it that primary school children know what an AK-47 is? You know, it's like far out. Shooting, blown up to pieces, fighting, dull grey, conflict between countries, unforgettable, crazy. Fight, kill, not peace, fight for country, machine guns, shooting, people dead, weapons, nuclear bombs. Lots of countries go to war, World War I, World War II. People die, make it into Elmo, Sesame Street. I didn't quite understand that because I'm not at their level there. Red, injury and death, video games, World War I, World War II, cool, fun, guns, blood, gore, nuclear explosions were some of the thoughts that come in association with the word war. So I'll just go past that one. Bullying. So I want to have a look at bullying. Why do people become aggressive and bullying? So the point of this is also that children can solve their own problems too, I might add. Adults don't actually need to solve these for children. Children need to just learn how to do problem solving, get together and how to work out peaceful ways to solve these things in the playground. Think they are better, sad. Some of the insights were interesting. What they have been through, like some people are bullying because of what they've been through. They feel like it. Some are mean and they hide their own feelings. Depressed, to make themselves feel better so they don't get bullied. I thought that was interesting. So some kids were bullying because they didn't want to get bullied. So it's better to get in there and, you know, be tough, you know. The next one's interesting too. Mad at themselves. So they're bullying because they're angry at themselves. It's quite an insight for a primary school child, I thought. Something wrong in families. So they're seeing that they're thinking further. Bullied before they get bullied, as I said before, to make sure they don't get bullied. They're mean. So they might have a very negative attitude is what they mean by mean. Get rid of anger. So people are offloading their anger by bullying others. Make themselves tough, attention to them, jealous, cool in front of friends, etc. So that was just a few of the thoughts that the kids said. I'll just go past that too. Whoops. So peaceful schools, how do we make peace at school? I was very interested in that, you know, how are we going to do it? Make friends with other people. See, inclusivity is very important in all this. Get to know people when you include them. Don't be lonely, play with others, be kind, play with younger kids, don't bully others, don't be mean back, so don't retaliate. Treat others the way you would want to be treated, that's a great wisdom. Takes great strength. How's that for an insight from primary school? Takes strength, and you know it's true, it takes strength to be peaceful. It's not easy, it's easy to attack. It's not so easy to actually maintain a sense of peace. They saw me, the peace clown, as you know, peace in schools. Frogs, friendship, that's again, I'd have to be at, you know, primary school to know what that means. Make friends, nice, helpful with teachers, be sensible, don't be mean. Tell teacher, paint peace symbols on the bins. So creating a culture of peace is really what that extends to. Protest signs, no bullying. And it was really funny because when I did teach in schools down in Melbourne, kids did have they came to the classroom with signs, you know, like, you know, love, you know, peace. Some children even started anti-bullying campaigns because they got inspired, you know. So that's wonderful. So I'm just going to move this on because I think time's getting close, is it? How are we going? Yeah, how much would it, 5 minutes more? Or? Yeah. This is just myself giving a talk to the Rotary Club. Oh, I just want to show you the president of the Rotary Club. She's carrying me there. She's lifted me up. They're all clowns in Rotary, don't you think? Yeah? Any Rotarians here? There's a few, isn't it?
There are.
Yeah, one. You're responsible for me being here. Yeah. No, they're terrific, Rotary. These two are just foreign students that are coming to Australia for a cultural exchange, which is another way of creating peace. It's a wonderful thing Rotary does there. This is myself carrying, lifting the president of that Rotary Club. She's having some fun. Don't know why that's not, there we go. Hang on a sec. I want to show you the Hazara Afghans because there's a lot of misunderstanding around Afghanistan. And because we have been technically at war with Afghanistan and the link to terrorism, you can imagine some stresses. With this community in Naracoorte, there's 500 Hazara that have come to Naracoorte, which is a town of 5,000. So that in itself is problematic just because of the numbers. If people go to the supermarket, they see a Hazara there and they don't know their culture, and the Hazaras don't know the Western culture. I can see potential conflict arising. The one good thing is the Hazara don't drink because they're Muslims, so you're not going to be down the local pub and getting into conflict, which is good. What I did here was I was going to actually talk to them about conflict resolution. I was going to try and discuss that, but when I thought about it, when I got there, I changed my mind and I thought, no, we really need a clowning workshop here because people don't know each other, So I just became the clown, to sort of bring them all together. And it turns out one of them, a lot of them actually, he was the clown in my view. Yeah, and he was funny. His laugh was hilarious. So I put a wig on him. I did a bit of juggling for them. So and for them, this is big for Hazara too, because women in their culture, they're all sitting in the back of the room. Now, in their culture, that's just the way it is. Without judgment from Western, the women should be, integrated in, of course, but in their culture, this is normal, and the women feel comfortable at the back. So what I know Afghans quite well, so I know their culture. So I actually ran to the back of the room and included the women, shook their hands and, got them involved. And the men were then able to have a look at the women laughing, and then they were also looking at me as a female clown. So this was quite big for them to have a female clown there. And we did jokes. We did jokes in English and we did jokes in Pashtun, which is the local Afghan language. And the actual mayor was there too. So there was a few of the Australians living in the area who were there, which was good because it's good for people to see each other laughing. I also had an opportunity to clown at Maribyrnong Detention Centre down in Melbourne. It was very funny. I actually wrote to them because I was trying to spell Maribyrnong. And they said that it was close to Christmas, and I'd actually gone down to Swanson Street and made 2 big cards. And I asked